Hello, my friends, and welcome back. Okay. The shaming train started more than a month ago, and guilt building campaign. It's been for longer than a month. And what am I talking about? Of course, I'm talking about picking a side on Ukraine-Russia situation. And it's not about picking a side, it's about really being required to pick that side. Uh, Obviously, things are more complicated and sophisticated than they appear, good versus evil. So, nevertheless, the idea is that the audience that these news are targeting is one with an IQ of about 86 and an age of about 13. So if you are more mature than a person of 13 years of age, or if you have an IQ higher than 86, then this news that these guys are sending to you are not effective. But you might ask, hey, what's going on? There's so many people with degrees, and how does that work to them? Well, it works the other way. As for instance, you can find very good explanation in a book written by Jacques Ellul, a French intellectual in the 60s. He wrote this book called Propaganda. It's a fantastic book. I think it's one of my favorites in the first three, I would say. And you read over there how the so-called educated people tend to be more easily propagandized than the people with less information or less abilities to figure out the news. So an abundance of information confuses the intellectual who's not able to break over certain levels, and the frequency, the high frequency of news that he's given at one time is confusing, as I said, the brain, and you don't have time to stop and analyze each and every piece of news and see if it's accurate or not. Just take it for it's coming from an authorized source, which is mass media or news and entertainment industry. Nevertheless, here is an article where the shaming and guilt building train, it's been long gone and through Europe and around the globe. And I don't I don't try to take sides on this, or at least obviously I assess statements and situations, and I know that always the truth is in between certain parties. So it's not always one party is always right and entirely right, and the other one is entirely wrong all the time. So, but these guys try to make us think that that's the way it goes, because I told you some reasons why. I am against the methods used to try to make people move in one direction or another. If they would provide you with the information and say, okay, so be it, that would be the proper way. What is here is they come and tell you that you are a bad person if you don't go this way, because obviously the evidence is right there. Where your evidence is right there. What about the other sides of the evidence? What the other party says? No, don't have to look for it because it doesn't make sense. It's just us, and you have to believe us, because if you don't believe us, again, you're a bad person. So, or they call you different kind of names. So in this case, is Bulgaria's turn in this shaming campaign. This article comes from Reuters, from April 21st, and we find out that Ukraine Foreign Minister says to Bulgaria, it's time to make a choice. Choice, not a choice. The thing is, before March, actually not March, but before this crisis in Ukraine started, Ukraine was one of the most corrupted countries in the world, and with some leaders. Now the same leaders are still there, and the same structure is there. So its corruption level did not, dropped in any ways. So these guys to come all over the world and being accepted and promoted in all the chancelleries of this Europe and most important countries or influential countries on this planet, it's a discrepancy. I mean, why would I listen to these guys, for instance, and when I know that they are corrupt, just because right now they're in bad shape because of some decisions that were made for them and with them? Yeah, basically that's what we are asked to believe. They're different. No, they're the same people who kept the same system that gave Ukraine such a great rating in the corruption scale. I think it was country number 143 or something from 193 in the corruption scale. So that 143 is not a good one, okay? Well, number 1 is the best, and 193 is the worst. So they're 143. They were, I don't know, a few months ago, before the war anyway. So this guy who plays Democrat and is coming and blaming other people, he's actually part of a country that has a government that has number 143 in the world out of 193 as a corrupt country. So, okay, what's changed? Well, you know what's changed, right? So it says here that Ukrainian Foreign Minister Dmytro Kuleba appeals to NATO and EU member Bulgaria on Thursday to provide sorely needed military aid to help his country survive Russian invasion, promote the war and economic sanctions, and the economy going down and your standards of living decreasing greatly. Okay, that's the continuation of this. That's what it means. I'm not saying that you should leave the Russian, just roll over those guys, but the times of negotiation was, I think, in 2014, 2015, right? But nevertheless, so Bulgaria has condemned the invasion, voted to support European Union sanctions against Russia, and is hosting more than 90,000 Ukrainian refugees. But the four-party ruling coalition remains split over whether to send arms and ammunition to Kiev. Now, someone said that a certain group of people are like this. You do something for them, in their lives, and you help them. You help them escape death or injury or things like this, and then you help them yesterday, and then today this kind of people come to you and say, hey, can you help me? And you say, well, no. It says, you didn't help me. And I say, what are you talking about? Look how much I did for you. What? And he says, what did you do for me today? So this is what these guys are doing. So these guys voted against Russia, accepted 90,000 refugees, condemned Russia, and so on. What did you do for me today? So you have to follow the strict, like every letter in the script. You have to do it. Otherwise, it's not that you're not there yet. You're immediately a bad dude. So everything you did means nothing if you don't follow the script all the way. So yeah, you know probably what I'm talking about. And here Kuleba, who arrived in the Black Sea country on Tuesday, said he still not received a clear answer from Sofia on military aid. My clear answer is to go back, fix your country, become a decent, civilized country, and then you come and talk to me like equal without blaming me for being a bad country, because I don't give you weapons to kill other people after a war that we have two parties over there. How about that, Kuleba? It's so angering when you see these guys. And besides, who the hell is Ukraine? Who the hell is Ukraine now? Go around the world and it's like a teacher taking a child in front of the classroom and shaming the child for not doing his homework, the entire homework. Really? And the teacher is a piece of, just so you know, Oh my, and he's not even a teacher because this guy's Ukraine is not even in that position of lecturing anyone. And he shames Bulgaria. They try to shame Serbia and everybody else who's not going 100% with the script. It says the best way to bring peace. Oh my God, I can. Okay, today is to stand by Ukraine, not to stand neutral. What about opposing it? You see, it was no other option over there. It was neutral with Ukraine, and that's it. What about against? Oh, no, 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 no. That's even. No, 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 no. That leads people to different. No, no, no. You can't. So the Ukrainian guy gave the Bulgarian country and its leaders two options, like an ultimatum. And he says neutral is not even an option. So basically, you have to do what I'm telling you. Otherwise, we're going to talk with daddy, and the daddy will punish you. And the other, the mommy. The daddy is United States, the mommy is European Union, because that's why they mentioned at the beginning of the article that it's a NATO country and an EU, European, from EU country. Just to make sure that you know who its bosses are. Oh, you say, no, it's an alliance, and yeah, okay. So sometimes you have to make a choice. You cannot be in between. But there's not only two options, boy. You cannot come up with endless arguments. Yes, I can. You have to take a side, and you have to take the side of truth. Also, he already determined that his side is the side of the truth. You know, who's the truth? Isn't God the truth? Yeah, there you go. So this is a dogmatic conversation, not a logical conversation, or democratic, or independent, or free. You remember freedom and democracy? Here you have it, freedom of speech. There you go. So they're the truth. So all I can say, it is time to make a choice. Oh, it is time. So he decided that the timeline is now, and it's right now is like the timeout. Right now is the end of it. Now it's time to make a choice. Not tomorrow, and you're already, on the red, or how should I put it? So anyway, it says here, among the coalition parties, Democratic Bulgaria seeks sending arms and ammunition, and the Russian-friendly socialists are opposed. Prime Minister Kirill Petkov's centrist PP party has proposed a compromise of sending technical assistance for defense purposes to Ukraine. That's not what they want. You're still going to be bad country. All right? And a fourth coalition party, the populist ITN, has not taken a clear position on the issue. So these are the weasels. So Kuleba, the Ukrainian guy, dismissed the PP's compromise proposal. It's no compromise. You have to do what Daddy says I should tell you to do. I'm just here just to shame you because I can right now, because I'm fantastic. And he gives some examples here what you should do, and why they should stand. He already gives them the list. And Bulgaria's parliament is expected to debate next week after the Orthodox Easter weekend how to support Ukraine further. How to support Ukraine further. What if they change their mind and say, no, we're not going to support it anymore? Is that possible? No, because that's the truth. That's divinity, God. Bulgaria was Moscow's closest ally in Eastern Europe in communist times. It has retained important culture, tourism and trade links, and is still heavily reliant on Russian gas and oil. It's okay, but you're going to sleep well tonight. Your children will not have heating. They will not have, electricity. You're not going to have anything, but you will feel morally superior to everybody else because what did you do? You were on the side of the truth, says Kuleba, who's part of a government whose country he led, and he still leads, and it was 143 or something like this on the corruption scale. Yeah. You figured it out. Thank you very much for being with me again today. Bulgaria, it's now or never. No, Elvis. And you might make a choice. Not make a choice. Make the choice. Thank you for being with me again today. Stay strong, stay smart, look for the truth, and be just. Go ahead, Bulgaria. Choose wisely, my king.